DC is generally known for having a lot of hater villains. A pretty obvious case is Reverse Flash. It was Barry. You also got Sinestro with his emotionally charged ring, Lex Luthor with his god complex, whoever within the Batman bunch. Black Manta is also someone who you could often see with this sort of archetype. He's got some really crazy feats. Being reformed once you learn Aquaman is dead, only go on a killing spree once he learns he's alive. Also the whole bit where he killed Aquaman's son. With how bloodthirsty a lot of DC adaptations could be, and I'm weirdly glad this aspect of the story has not really been adapted. That was a whole meme leading up to the Aquaman 2 movie, and with faults it has, it kind of works better not to have killed him. Also, he was way past the toddler phase when it happened in the comics. In the movies, it was just a baby. There's a lot of hype with using Black Manta within the Aquaman movies, and if nothing else, I do wish that certain Flash rogues would get a modicum of respect that Black Manta has within these movies. He's a baller with nothing more than a tech suit, and he certainly fares well with pretty much just that. Aquaman 2 allows him to step up to the plate more, which certainly gives him more spotlight.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman and murder his family. I'm gonna kill Aquaman and burn his kingdom to ash. I'm gonna taste Aquaman's blood.
That being said, there's also a fair bit of body possession, which calls into action how much his choices are really his own. You could sort of see it as maybe an amplifier, but towards the end, with how it affects Orm, it does lead more into the full-on possession thing. Like he even says Orm's hatred for Aquaman's better than Black Manta's. Aside, but Orm kind of saved the movie for me. A lot with movies kind of dumb, but Orm being kind of a straight man for Aquaman kind of does something right for me. But at the end of it all, Black Manta kind of seemed like a pawn. With all the attempts to lean into Black Manta being the ultimate hater, kind of makes me lean into another adaptation of Black Manta, that being from the old Young Justice show. Previously I stated that season 2 was a particularly hard season to revisit, so I ended up revisiting that season in particular to get a better grasp of my feelings, and I think I have a newfound liking for it. I could elaborate more at some point. But something pretty interesting for this season is the dynamic of Black Manta, where the focus for him isn't being the ultimate hater for Aquaman. That honor was ironically given to Ocean Master, but more his relationship with his son. It's a really specific dynamic within Young Justice Season 2, where for one thing, they have this whole system with the light, which was something for a lot of villains to strive towards, and Manta is clearly making moves to rise up in. And also the way Kaldar's story plays out, where normally he is a hero, which his father would oppose, but for the time being, they are on pretty good terms. Kaldar would do some stuff, David Kane would be like, nice. Kaldar would seem to have a victory. David would applaud Kaldar for a victory. Kaldar would admit the victory was incidental. David would reveal it was in fact a test of his honesty. And there would seem to be some cooperation. It's also interesting juxtaposing with Sportsmaster, who seems way less caring of his children, and David actually seems to show some humanity when it comes to protecting his son.
Calderon! Father, are you alright?
Fine. Just fine. Now.
This kind of dynamic is also interesting to consider when Aquaman was responsible for his father's death, which was highlighted within the movie. Like, you could think he was a vengeful-filled lunatic back when his father died, but when he has a chance to be a caring father, he sort of mellows out as a way of moving on.
My son is whole again. Seeing me in mortal danger was the vital catalyst his recovery required. I truly feel blessed.
Of course, by the end, it's revealed that Kaldar was in fact a mole, and it's definitely a sense of betrayal for him.
I cannot comprehend this betrayal, Kaldar. How could you? I admit to being conflicted, Father. I have seen your noble side, but you left me no choice.
Must beat that lesson into your skull!
And also considering he does become Aquaman later in next season, it's like, this kind of does change up the Aquaman Black Manta dynamic. Also, being on Task Force X sucks. This sort of creative decision may have been incidental to the greater Black Manta lore. They were more thinking of a story to tell, and Black Manta happened to fit in a certain way. But it's just kind of interesting it sort of calls into question. Like, in the end, I think I preferred this version of Black Manta over others that were more haters, as a sort of a logical character progression. It's also funny that he and Ocean Master sort of swapped here. Master Baby's whole other thing. Kind of interesting to speculate on whole villain dynamics. Just interesting to think how certain villain dynamics could be subverted and such. Anyway, cheers.